I believe he's on the West Coast doing a seminar. I'm going to have to lace it into him and find out where the hell he is. Anyway, let's continue.
It was heartening to see Governor Christie spending some time with President Obama.
Christie, another Christie reading.
Perhaps our president's polite, calm, and mannerly way will rub off on Christie.
Yeah, I heard they were tossing a football back and forth.
No, that was at one of the games down in Seaside Heights where they were.
And
Christie won a teddy bear and he gave it to Obama.
Oh, how cute. And not only that, there's a photo of Christie and President Obama taking a stroll on the beach together.
Yes, the Republicans are calling it a bromance. A bromance.
They're not happy about it.
No, they're not.
You know, I think if Christie does not get reelected, I think Fox News should give him his own talk show on Fox News. I think he has
start each show with a donut, eating a donut.
Yeah.
Like he did in
a whole box of donuts.
Well, not anymore now. He ain't gonna eat the whole box now.
No, I think Dunkin' Donuts should be the sponsor, one of the sponsors of the new Christie show, and he should have that on his desk when they go on the air.
It's sad that the chief executive of our state, who signed a law to combat bullying, feels he can do and say anything he pleases to anyone who disagrees with him.
He is a bully. He's a political bully.
How can we expect our children to control their language and behavior when they hear our governor asking the press to take a bat to a respected state senator, or calling the legislative's chief budget officer Dr. Kevorkian? I missed that. I don't remember who he said that to or why.
Me neither.
But Dr. Kevorkian, assisted suicide. If these were isolated incidents, it would be easier to accept, but YouTube is full of examples of our governor being rude and belligerent to constituents. Free speech is part of our Bill of Rights. When a person in a position of high authority acts belligerently toward ordinary citizens, it is bullying in its worst form. As a parent of 2 teens, I cannot defend Christie's do as I say, not as I do attitude. Nor will I vote for him. It's embarrassing that this man, who hopes to be president someday, thinks that this kind of behavior is okay. If he expects to be re-elected governor, I suggest he abide by the law he signed and set a good example for all our citizens by controlling his temper.
Christie is Christie, I mean, hey, I have a temper.
Hey.
I have a temper, but I don't. There's certain things set me off, like liars.
We must, as the Bible says, control the tongue.
I mean,
the tongue is a very bad thing.
Well, I have no tolerance for phony liars who are not being honest.
We have phony liars in this country,
and also dishonest people.
Are they in high positions?
That exploit the unfortunate and the weak, exploit the poor, exploit those that are less fortunate in order to increase their own riches.
That's the whole Republican philosophy, isn't it?
So therefore, I don't have tolerance for that.
Oppress the poor, give to the rich.
That's right.
And make the government so small that it cannot do anything about it.
And the rich are so greedy and stingy, they don't pay taxes. So
well,
they don't want that either.
God forbid. They should pay taxes and provide for the commons. Why do they have to do that when they have gated communities and they can buy and sell their own police force and fire force?
Right.
While we have to depend on the commons. But they don't want to pay for the commons, especially education.
If The rich paid their fair share in taxes.
We wouldn't have a deficit.
Their real fair share. And if they trimmed the waste out of the military spending,
We wouldn't have a deficit.
we will not, and I repeat, we would not have a deficit at all. We probably would have a surplus.
I remind people.
And we can afford to bring back all the social services to help the poor, including lots of food pantries. And
Why would we have poor? Why would you sanction poor?
well, there wouldn't.
If the people down below who are poor today were making proper wages and
Yeah.
given a proper, as you say, social welfare and stuff like that, there would be no poor.
Yeah, because
We have never wanted the poor to become upwardly mobile. No, we want them to keep them poor. We want to keep our poor.
because the economy, the job market and the economy would be stimulated due to the fact that you
The
would
money
put,
was down
you
below.
would put more money in the pockets of the little guy,
The 70% who drive the economy.
more money in the pocket of the little guy is what is the backbone of the true American economy, the original American economy, Main Street, not Wall Street. The little guy is the true consumer, and when you put money back into the pocket of the little guy, the economy and the job market and everything is stimulated. And if they want to continue to outsource, you tariff the hell out of their products when they bring it back in the United States.
And may I remind people that we had no deficit in 2001 until Mr. G. W. Bush took office and gave the rich 2 outstanding tax cuts.
Even Bill Clinton, a corporatist Democrat, a more or less a moderate corporatist Democrat, had a surplus when he left office. He had a
No
surplus.
Republican has had.
Could you imagine how the economy would be if we had all progressive liberal Democrats running America? It would be incredible. It would be like there would be no homeless or poor or people living in tents.
See, but that's not what the Republicans, and I hate to use this term, work for. Because they don't do any work.
They don't do any work.
Right.
And they want to enslave the little guy. They want to
They want to
enslave.
give the corporations what they want. And that is slave labor.
Hey, you heard it. You heard the reality of CEOs, of corporate CEOs at the beginning of this show. You heard me say, induct this week's members into the Chiselers Hall of Shame, all those CEOs.
After Wall Street and etc., CEO pay is up over 23%. You figure it out.
Oh, it's up like the salaries of congressmen and senators are going up, up, up.
Yeah, but CEOs are out of line. I mean, you got millions of dollars. I mean, the congressmen and the senators, yeah, they only got their base salaries and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're allowed to invest in stocks that they learn about. In other words, insider trading, to gain some more money. But they're not in the same league as CEOs of the nature that I'm talking about.
Siphon up economics.
Correct.
Siphon up economics is growing and skyrocketing
Well, it's
like
been going for the last 30-some years.
like never before. If CEOs are making more obscene salaries than they were before, and they were obscene before,
Yes.
then that means siphon up economics is like
There's less money for down below.
yeah.
Simple.
I mean, you get a job and you work for a company. All your blood, sweat, and tears are not going to allow you to keep up with inflation or to have surplus cash to enjoy the American dream, which is for the rich anyway.
Yeah, but people who are self-centered aren't worried about that sort of
It's
stuff.
going up to the CEO of the company you work for. The crook is sucking up all the money. All right, continue.
Here is a very important message about your credit card.
Oh, wow.
That's how the phone call begins. The calls have come to me several times in a week, and each time from a different phone number from all over the country. I spoke to the New Jersey Attorney General's office, and an agent confirmed that the call is a scam.
Oh, it's not really from the credit card company or a bank?
And yet they can't track down the culprits. The agent said that even he gets the calls at home. With all the sophisticated federal and state devices available for tracking, one would think that something could be done about shutting down these folks. It really is very annoying receiving the calls, and even more annoying that nothing is being done to stop the scam. In relation to that, Red China has been caught hacking our military and etc. Finding out how to build our weapons and all of this stuff. But it isn't said what one of the big problems is. When our companies move to Red China, they take all the technology with them and they offer it to the Red Chinese. Otherwise, they would not be allowed in to Red China. So, another example of the United States shooting itself in the foot and will be conquered from within, not from without.
You know, a famous magician, Rocco Solano, sometimes he travels the world, he gets booked around the world, and he often goes to mainland China. So Rocco Solano invented something, and it's a magical prop, and he brought it to China, of course, to try to get it made in China, cheap, and have it sent to the United States. What else is new? And guess what? The Chinese took his patented invention and reproduced it.
Ripped them off.
And ripped them
Correct.
off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. They will not allow you in their country unless you share the technology. So it's our own fault.
And lawyers can't do shit. There's nothing they can do. Once they dissect your product and they start reproducing your product.
Reverse engineering.
Reverse engineering is what? When you pirate,
take the thing apart and find out how it works.
Yeah. In other words, the engineering that went into a product to invent it, they sort of get a big head start, because then they take it apart, they dissect it, their people look at it.
And they don't obey intellectual property laws.
No, and
copyright.
And patents and copyrights mean nothing.
Nothing. Thank you.
So that's a form of, I guess, unethical behavior, right?
But it's our fault. Because we allow them to do it, because they buy our products and they buy our U.S. Treasury bonds.
You think that's why every time I purchase an item in the United States, the item that has been around for decades is just getting thinner and flimsier? Like if it's something made of plastic, it's not as heavy duty as it used to be. It's actually like plastic is getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. Like let's take an aquarium filter sold by there's a company called Lee, capital L-E-E. Well, guess what? The filter that I was used to seeing years ago has become very thin. The plastic is thin, and if you're not careful, especially if you have a strong iron-like grip like me, like yours truly, if you're not careful, you can crush it. And
that's so it doesn't last as long.
But the price, Dr. Bill, is actually higher than it used to be.
Because the dollar is worthless.
But the quality, the workmanship of the item is flimsy.
That's correct. Is that like going back to the days of planned obsolescence?
Yeah, like the light bulb that burns out in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just
Or
want to
1
make
week.
the sale, that's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? Don't care about backing up the product.
Now,
Or quality control.
quality control, regulations, customer service.
Oh, God.
The companies don't care. Companies don't care. They don't care. Their commercials might tell you they care.
I can't get any results from Earthlink
Wow.
on configuring my Outlook. Live chat can't help me.
Whatever happened to competency in America?
Well, probably the person wasn't even in America. It was probably from India.
That's what I'm getting at.
The chat guy.
Outs-
The agent, excuse me, the agent.
The agent.
Earthling's agent. Yes. Yes.
Earthling's agent.
Hold on for the next available agent.
And you get somebody with a heavy accent.
No, it's typing. It's text. It's not.
Yeah. Oh, you mean
Chat, live chat.
Live chat.
Yeah.
I've actually encountered very high quality customer service through live chat before. I've had luck with live chat, but when it comes to software, well, actually, yeah, I've had good luck with certain companies. Logitech, the company that makes things for accessories for computers, excellent customer service.
Well, configuring an email program should be a no-brainer.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Whatever the problem is.
Yeah, a live stream. I've received good customer service, but there's a lot of companies where, you know, you get incompetent outsourced help desk. You know.
One would think that a letter writer who is a professor at a local college would have enough sense not to propose, as he did, that the Federal Reserve should have followed the policies advocated by Austrian economist Ludwig von Mises. Those policies have guided European common market leaders into keeping the economies of most members of the market in deep recessions. Germany, the strongest economy in the Union, is not doing so well either. The United States has avoided this condition and has had modest growth because the Obama administration was able to pass spending programs, which unfortunately were not large enough. No kidding. The Federal Reserve's quantitative easing policy, calling it printing money if you like, has helped encourage spending by consumers by keeping interest rates low. I got news for you. It ain't the consumers who are benefiting from the low interest rates. It is Wall Street.
That's right.
The professor writes that low interest rates are not substitutes for private investment. Well, if that is the case, why are our major corporations sitting on hordes of cash or buying back their stock instead of hiring workers? Why are the wealthiest citizens, who are facing among the lowest tax rates in United States history, not investing in new enterprises? The answer is that they are not fools. There are not enough customers with money in their pockets to buy their goods.
See?
Ultimately, sellers of goods don't care whether a customer is a teacher, a policeman, or unemployed. nor do they care if their customers obtain their dollars from the government or earn them on Wall Street. When the demand is there, new workers are hired, new investments are made. That's how free enterprise works.
And I'm so happy that I chose that image, that banner for the our Facebook political group called Hard Hitting Truth. The dollar bill with Satan on the front. Yeah, that's capitalism in America. That's the conservative, controlled capitalism. It's perfect. The picture paints 1,000 words.
Well, our economic system came from Babylon, and it is of the devil.
Absolutely.
It is the get way of life.
To get.
G-E-T. Whereas God's economics is the give way of life. G-I-V-E.
Yeah, well, that's what.
A distinct difference.
That's the origin of capitalism. The whole.
Capitalism is of self-interest.
Corporatism, selfish. It's the get way of life.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high, hire and pay cheap, and cheaper. Or
destroy unions so that the worker cannot get a fair wage.
Hire illegals and pay them less than minimum wage.
And they can't say anything because they'll get caught.
No, and it'll go on and on and on. You know, child labor, slavery.
Yeah, I mean, Nestle's CEO
saying that you do not have a right to drinking water.
Bastard.
Just think about that.
Bastard.
You don't have a right to water? Without water, in a couple days, you die.
6 of our states are out of water.
Because of the drought?
The wells are drying up.
We are like the South American Southwest?
Nevada, Colorado.
How about New Mexico?
Indiana, Kansas, and 2 other ones.
Yeah, but there's because of climate change, there is a severe long-term drought going on.
That too is in that area.
In Middle America.
Middle America, and extends back to the.
So that means they might as well plant cacti throughout the entire Middle America. It'll be one giant desert.
Or they could probably bring in the people who are running the weather control mechanisms of Wilhelm Reich.
HARP?
Wilhelm Reich.
Oh.
HARP is bad stuff.
Yeah.
Wilhelm Reich was good stuff. He wanted to bring rain to areas that needed it.
Wilhelm Reich, people like Wilhelm Reich, who is deceased now, and Nikola Tesla, these are
genii.
2 of the greatest, most important scientists the world
of all time
has ever seen. Of course, Leonardo da Vinci is up there. Probably Isaac Newton.
But at least we know about his stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know about who the hell knows about Wilhelm Reich and Tesla today.
You're right about that.
Yeah. There's one of the big differences.
What was the great scientist or engineer from ancient Greece? Was that Archimedes?
Oh,
There's a bunch of them.
Archimedes, Kepler, the other one.
No,
they were good.
The Library of Alexandria. The Library of Alexandria, Egypt. Everything was destroyed. All the Greek scientists had their.
Well, Hypatia, she was a scientist, and she sort of was the director, I guess, of the library.
Oh, so it was run by a woman.
I believe so.
And she fucked up.
No, they killed her or whatever.
Somebody killed Hypatia? Who didn't want science to prevail?
Well, religious people, number one. There's always been this war between religion and science. Because the religions they don't understand the real truths of the Bible, which are not anti-science.
What you're talking about is a cult. It's their religion.
They made it up.
They made it up.
Just like way back when, everybody had their own gods. They carried them in their pockets, or whatever went for pockets in their dress that they wore in those days. We've got, in our history, there have been, how many gods are in India? 30,000?
Hindu gods.
I mean 30,000. 30 million?
Well, there's gods, there's goddesses, and then there's many demigods. You know,
so that's what I'm saying.
Lesser gods.
Is Zeus around today?
No.
No. How about Mercury? How about Thor? How about any of these gods that were gods back in the old days where people made a living and worshipped them and etc.?
No,
they don't exist. They never existed.
Mercury,
they were made up.
Mercury is working for FTD Florist.
Oh yes, that's right. He's got delivery.
Man, my new modified levity bells are louder than ever. Good goobly-goo.
One more here to get angry at.
For the road. The last reading of this week's Progressive Discussions. Take it away, Dr. Bill.
America's 100 million cable and satellite subscribers are forced to pay ever higher bills for a growing number of channels they do not watch.
Interesting.
The American people are being ripped off.
Doesn't surprise me.
Meanwhile, services such as iTunes and Netflix have led a revolution in how customers purchase and experience music and video entertainment. They have upended entire industries to allow consumers to buy digital content where they want, when they want. Amid all this change, two entrenched interests, the cable television and video programming industries, have teamed up to use federal regulations to stack the deck against customers.
Deregulated exploitation.
Well, this is regulation in their favor.
Yeah.
See, they like regulation when it's in their favor. Okay? The numbers are striking. According to the Federal Communications Commission, the price for basic cable has grown by an average of 6.1% a year over the last 16 years. 3 times the rate of inflation, and far outpacing the average American's paycheck. Cable bills are projected to continue rising to an average of $200 a month by 2020. The 82% of American households that subscribe to cable or satellite television are stuck paying escalating prices for bundled packages of more than 100 channels, despite the fact that the average viewer tunes into only 18 of them. Reinforcing this fundamental unfairness